What's shaking, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Big Country, and we're returning to No Place Like Home. As always, big thank you to Wayne, as well as to Tim and Solo and others who've been part of this deep dive. And the next track in the playlist is Beat the Devil, which sounds like conquering or overcoming evil. Obviously, beat can mean to defeat or to physically assault. I'm guessing the former, meaning I am inclined to read it as triumphing over, not necessarily using physical violence. Obviously, those two things can be part of the same process, but yes, and here the devil, I am more inclined to see it as figurative, meaning bad actors in the world, and given that this album has had, political and social commentary and, discussion of the ills of the world at the time this album came out, and of course, tracing back beyond or before the time of this album, and unfortunately in many respects continuing on into the present day, I wouldn't be surprised if the devil is representative of the forces of destruction, exploitation, brutality, and dehumanization. Now, maybe it is more overtly, let's say, religious or metaphysical, but even if that's the case, I would imagine it to be, the devil is behind those forces of destruction and brutality. So, yeah, I don't quite know what to expect, but I have a sense that we are dealing here in morality or good and evil, or the forces of tranquility versus those of destruction and malicious intent. Either way, I'll try to catch what I can while Luca is literally dreaming and fussing her paws. Let's hear it. This is Big Country. The tune is Beat the Devil, and it's from the 1991 album No Place Like Home.
Turning ragged, the sky turning ragged. Someone talking in my bed. I know I've got to chase the devil tonight. The time is here, the railway is long. At the surface song, but I know I've got to face the devil tonight. It'll be alright. It'll be alright. I know I've got to face the devil tonight. Let me be my guy. Won't you be my light?
okay, like when it started, I was like, oh, it's got some energy, and in a very brief moment, it made me think, oh, this kind of sounds like the rhythms and the energy of some of the early Big Country stuff. Now, once it really got going, it was like, oh, there's still more of like a country folksy twang to it relative to their earlier songs or earlier albums for that matter. But I do feel like it's maybe a bit in between. Again, like even his vocal delivery is a bit more country than the early material, but there was a bit of the big country energy from the early to mid 80s that I heard in this one, despite it having this, again, country sort of more rural feel to it. I will say, like, lyrically, it felt like there wasn't a whole lot of lyrics on the page. It felt like, there were a lot of refrains as well as the chorus. But yeah, it sounds like he feels it's his obligation to face the devil, to beat the devil tonight. There was a question that he was asking, like, won't you be or will you be? And I couldn't, like, hear the rest of that line clearly, and it feels like that's an important one, and I'm not quite sure who he's talking to, if it's literally just another person who he wants to be there for him or to, acknowledge, like, witness what is occurring. But yeah, it sounds like someone who feels like they have a duty or they are fated to beat the devil, to face the devil, but he is like reassuring, like it's going to be all right. So he is confident in his triumph. And so again, if we interpret that metaphorically, the idea that he has to go out and slay the devil, beat the devil, maybe with his art, maybe with his music, maybe it's sort of autobiographical, the idea of having to confront these forces and to overcome them. If it is more like arcane or nuanced than that, I didn't get enough to get a clear read on it, but it does sound like there's an immediacy, like it's tonight, it's not over the course of my life. Now, obviously, tonight can itself be metaphorical or, representative of a longer time span, but it did feel, again, like there was an immediacy to this confrontation, and it's like he's aware of it as if it's like, it's written somewhere. It's like this teleological battle between good and evil that he is fated to take part in. But I definitely enjoyed the guitar work, and some of it again had a bit more of a country feel to it, but it still had a lot of energy and is, I think, identifiably big country guitar. So same thing with his vocals, right? Like it's his voice. It's unmistakably Stewart's voice, but he's delivering his vocals a bit different. I mean, even relative to the previous album, never mind, going back to The Crossing or something like that, it feels like there's an evolution in his style of delivering. Certainly, not just in a constant stream. It does seem song-specific in some cases, but definitely, it's identifiably his voice, and yet he sounds different here, again, than he did on some of their more like famous tunes from the early to mid 80s. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this album, and as I said, I'm willing to follow a band where they go. It's, people who know my channel, who know me for a couple years now, they'll be aware I'm a big Depeche Mode fan, and if you go through Depeche Mode's catalog, there's a lot of really different material, album to album, decade to decade, but I'm here for it. It's, I'm a fan of the band, and even though I might like some better than others, I just want to hear what they're doing, and I want to hear more music by them. So I get the same sense with Big Country, that they explore different territories, they've done different things in their history, but I'm here for it. So I did want to mention, I forgot to mention this in the first two videos I did in this session, but today is going to be the last day of regular reactions, and for the next couple weeks after that, next 2 to 3 weeks, I'm going to be doing exclusively holiday music reactions. Holiday has always been an enjoyable time for me. It's become a tradition on my channel the last few years, so that's what's going to happen. So there probably won't be another Big Country reaction until we get into January. So yeah, bear with me, and I don't think it'll be that different. They've been about every 3 to 4 weeks or so. It should be roughly the same, but I did want to mention it because, some people here I think follow some other deep dives that I do as well. So yes, for the next, again, 2 to 3 weeks, it'll be exclusively holiday reactions. So I know that's not everyone's cup of tea, and if it's not, bear with me, but yeah, it's something I'm looking forward to. And then by the time we get to New Year's Day, if not even a day or two before that, we will return to regular reactions. So I'm looking forward to it all. Let me know what you think of this tune, and we'll see you next time. Peace.